The biggest cause of loss to wintering hives is due to the fact of old queens perishing. When the beekeeper goes along and checks in the spring, he finds either a very weak colony or one with perhaps a queen still there but she's not laying properly, and this means a tremendous check to the season. Now, the queen really should have been replaced the previous autumn. The thought of many beekeepers is that if they requeen in the spring, they're getting a fresh queen and she's going to last for 2 seasons, but the same thing will apply even if they requeen in the autumn. The queen will still last for 2 seasons. Now, if the colony is very weak in the spring, you shouldn't give it, if you suspect disease or there's been no semer there, don't give those frames to another colony. Rather dispose of the bees and sterilise the frames with acetic acid, and then start afresh, perhaps make up a nuke and introduce a brand new queen to that. But if it's weak and it seems healthy, then okay, unite to another colony. Now sometimes beekeepers want to make up increase in the spring. Again, don't go along to a strong hive and remove a queen and place a queen in that's travelled through the post. The bees are expecting a queen to be in full lay straight away. A queen that's travelled through the post, she takes a bit of time to get going, and if the bees think there's something wrong with her, then supersedure is very likely. So the same advice is make up a nuke and introduce a travel queen that's arrived through the post, introduce her to the nuke first, and then unite that nuke once she's been accepted and started to lay, unite that to the main colony that you want to requeen. Now, in the summer, sometimes beekeepers see that the queen isn't doing well and she's laying poorly, so it's the same again. Introduce her to a nuke and then unite that nuke to another colony. When the flow goes over, it's practically a waste of time trying to requeen. If necessary, artificially feed so the bees think that there's still something coming in if you try to requeen. Certainly don't requeen if they're under stress through robbing or wasps are about. This is where wasp traps come in. They should be placed in advance so that the hive isn't under stress if you're going to attempt requeening. The summer is also a good time for making up nukes, which you will later unite to colonies that go into a later flow. In the autumn, you might be going to the heather, so it's well worthwhile making up a nuke, headed by a brand new queen, which you unite later on in the season, at the end of July, and then take that colony with a brand new queen to the heather, rather than using a colony that might be exhausted at the end of the summer and taking that to the heather or the sea lavender or water balsam late flow. It's vital that they have that fresh spark with a brand new queen, so the summertime is a good time for doing that. Also, queens are to be had in the summer, so it's a good opportunity to make up a queen bank. Order the queens through the summer, June, July into August, put them in the queen bank, queenless nuke box, add a frame of sealed emerging bees and brood every fortnight until the autumn. Then at the autumn time, when we get into September, even up to mid-October, is an excellent time for queen introduction. The bees are very receptive to a brand new queen at this time of the year. Supersedure is very, very low if it should occur when you introduce the queen. But the tremendous advantage is that you've got more brood cycles. The queen is able to lay more, and it means a lot stronger colony the following spring with no check to breeding. They'll take off very, very quickly the following spring with a queen that's been introduced the previous autumn. She will still last you 2 seasons, so have good colony records and you'll be able to run her for 2 full seasons, and then in 2 years' time, that autumn, again requeen. The older queens you can just simply put into a spare bit of nuke box, no need to kill them, but you always want fresh young queens heading full colonies. There's other reasons that sometimes beekeepers want to requeen. Obviously if a swarm comes in headed by an older queen, that's a good opportunity to requeen then, take away that old queen that you don't know the background and put a new one in. If you see your own colonies trying to swarm, don't put a queen in when there's been queen cells, sealed queen cells in the hive. Rather wait a fortnight until a virgin appears, get rid of the virgin, and then put your travelled bought queen into them. Sometimes beekeepers have vicious colonies which they want to requeen. The advice would be get the travelled queen accepted by a nuke first, and then unite the nuke to the vicious colony. If things like laying workers should appear, or drone laying queens, laying workers can be difficult. You can try caging a virgin or giving it a queen cell. If you must introduce a queen to the laying workers, then give them a few frames of brood in all stages a day or two before you put the travelled queen in with them to try and make that success. But it's definitely worth looking into making up a queen bank during the summer, and then you'll have several queens available for you then to requeen all your older colonies in the autumn, and the results will manifest themselves in much more easier colony management when all the hives are the same, and you'll get a considerable return from your colonies with much greater honey crops.